Welcome back to Ravens Today. I'm your host, Connor Gioffreda, giving you all the latest updates on anything and all things Ravens. Please make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video. Let's dive into the latest. So for today, got some mock drafting reports done here, so that's what we're going to go into, okay? And mind you, I have a lot of things to say about the first two picks that people have been, predicting the Ravens will go with. And this is nothing against the young players, nothing against them. So we're gonna dive into it. All right, you'll understand once I get into it. All right. First up, we have the Ravens in the first round are going to draft a pass rusher, which I 100% would want because that's what we so desperately need. And I think this gentleman would absolutely be a force to be reckoned with on this team. Enter Cassius Howell, Texas A&M defensive edge. In 2025, Howell had 31 tackles, 11.5 sacks, 6 pass deflections, made first team All SEC and on All-American status. He was what you would call the SEC boogeyman. Whenever you faced a guy like him, he was a force to be reckoned with on the Texas A&M defense, and he really provided the Texas A&M defense with crucial plays and is an absolute unit. I would love it if the Ravens went with this type of player for their first round draft pick. And if they go with Howell, great. Look at the stats from last year. Made first team All SEC. It's an All-American. 11.5 sacks in 2025. Mind you, that was in 13 games. 11.5 sacks in 13 games. None of the Ravens' defensive line or edges could get 11.5 sacks in an entire football season last season. So, a guy like this would be pretty crucial for the Ravens to get, okay? Like, this guy right here, I want him to go as number 14, okay? But then, remember when I said that I had a lot of things to say about some of the draft picks the Ravens would go with, and this is one. Mind you, again, this is nothing against this player. He is phenomenal talent, and he will most likely go to a team that really does need him in the first or second round. Enter Carnell Tate from Ohio State, wide receiver from Ohio State. 2025, 51 receptions, 875 yards, 9 touchdowns. Mind you, he is on the Ohio State, and I'm sorry, not an Ohio State fan, whatever. Overshadowed by Jeremiah Smith, which it's Jeremiah Smith, the best wide receiver in the country, and it's hard to really get noticed when that's who people talk about a lot more on the Ohio State wide receiver core. But he's also a good wide receiver 2, not a good wide receiver 1. He's a great route runner versus he's not very a guy that would go deep. He'd be like the wide out player where he's the guy that comes he's on the outside, he's not really on the in like Zay Flowers is. So again I'm really hesitating here because, again, he is a phenomenal player. He will get drafted in the first or second round, but the Ravens do not need a wide receiver in the first round. If the Ravens do that, that is one of the biggest blunders I've ever seen. We don't need we do need a wide receiver, but we don't need them in the first round. Go with a defensive player in the first round. Look at how great the last time we drafted a defensive player in the first round looked. Kyle Hamilton, ranked at, ironically, number 14. One of the best safeties in the league. Go defense in the first round, please. Again, nothing against Tate, except that he played for Ohio State. But we don't need a wide receiver in the first round. That's not what we're desperately looking for. Okay, but if he's still for some unknown reason still on the board by the third or fourth, then I would say, okay, let's go get him. But that is definitely not going to happen. He is more a first or second round pick material. Moving on to the second round. Mind you, I'm not going through the whole 7 rounds here. That is way too, we're going to get more into that later as the draft gets closer. And the second round, we go with a linebacker. R. Mason Thomas, Oklahoma Sooner defensive linebacker, by the way. 2025, 18 tackles, 6.5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles. Like, he would help boost our linebacker position. Honestly, I think that he would play much better. Well, it really depends. How about this? He would play in a much better team when, like, now that Jesse Minter's there. But with Harbaugh, I don't think he would have had any snaps at all. Even if he did, like, get snaps, he wouldn't have. Like, he would have had 1 or 2 snaps and that would have been it. But now with Jesse Minter, it's really up in the air. But I feel like this guy right here is a guy Jesse Minter would want, specifically because he's an excellent run negator. He's great in coverage in terms of, pass coverage, and he will need some time to develop, though. That's his weakness. He's a little bit slow in terms of development, but again, that can totally be taught. Again, and with Jesse Minter, 100% believe that Anthony Weaver is going to be a huge piece in the development of all the new players, especially in defense. Jesse Minter will have an active role in that as well. So really do expect the Ravens to go with 2 defensive players in the first and second round. Because Howell, definitely first round draft pick material. I would love it if we got him. Thomas, let's go for second. That's another banger of a pick in my opinion. So the way that the Ravens have been going with their coaches picks, let's just keep that rolling into the draft with 2 banger picks in the first round and the second round. But on the third round, we got to go with a boost in the offensive line. Mind you, this is in case Tyler Linderbaum isn't signed to a new deal with the Ravens, and we're going to have to look for another center. Mind you, this player can also play a guard position as well, but that's what he was known for at Auburn, was being a center. Enter Connor Lew, ranked 12th best offensive lineman in the country. That is not best center. That is best offensive lineman in the country. He's another Tyler Linderbaum. He has excellent IQ. He picks up blitzes really quickly. He, is just he is a big guy. He's not big in the sense of he's big, he's broad, he's everything you want in an offensive lineman on in a picture. But the problem is he can be limited because of his massive frame. He's a little bit slow to get up, a little bit slow to react to you, and he relies solely on his power and can be exposed to swim moves or being juked out. But again, that can be totally taught. And especially now with our offensive lineman coach we got from the Falcons, I really do believe that if we were to get a center at some point in this draft because of, knock on wood, Tyler Linderbaum leaving the Ravens, I would like to have Connor Lew as a Raven because, again, he's just another Tyler Linderbaum, and Tyler Linderbaum has proven to be one of the best centers in the league. And just picking up a guy that's exactly like him or something close to him would be crucial for the Ravens, especially with an offensive line that desperately needs help, especially in the guard position and pending Tyler Linderbaum does leave the center position. All right. But again, you have to wait and see. I'm excited for draft night, people, because again, we get to see who the Ravens are going to be, who is going to help us lead to a Super Bowl, and we still have the free agency coming up as well. The Super Bowl just ended a couple days ago. Guys are still out there. Ravens have said that we're going to make some splash moves in the next couple of weeks. Thank you for tuning into Ravens today. I'm your host, Connor Gioffreda. Again, thank you so much for tuning into the show. Really do appreciate it. Have a good one, everyone.